Welcome back, everybody. This is part 3 of the E36 328i Sport. And to be honest with you, I'm normally a guy who's very, very impatient with stuff, but I am kind of like loving flipping this car around and getting stuck in it. Kind of makes it feel like my own. I don't keep much, to be honest. I'm really, really bad for it. I always see the wages in things and I sell them, but I feel quite attached to this little car, putting my own amount of work into it and picking the mods carefully, buying parts, and it kind of has given me a little bit of attachment, which for me is a good thing, because I'm feeling like I want to do the car and I want to keep it and I want to use it, which is rare. I normally just take the wages out of it. So we've basically been busy with it. We've been doing bits of odds and sods. We haven't been flat out all day, every day. Been dropping onto it in between jobs, and we get 5 minutes here and there. And I feel we're getting through it very well. We found some wheels which are split rims. They are the BBS RC, the ones that come on this car originally. They are staggered offset as well, so slightly wider at the back. And we're looking forward to getting those. Apparently there's a guy down at Hull got a set. We have been looking for a couple of weeks. We think we've placed them now, but we're just waiting on them getting back to us today. Hopefully we can go and pick them up. So I hope you like the build and how things are coming on. I'm really excited about it. We are going to make a mega car out of this, and I think at the end it will be quite satisfying seeing the end product, for not just for us, for everybody. But I'd like to use this as like an interactive video, so if you think there's anything that I'm missing, anything that needs doing, any recommendation for bits, parts, don't feel ashamed to get involved. That's what YouTube's all about, and that's how I'm trying to do these videos and trying to get people involved in what we've got going on. Don't forget as well, like, subscribe and share the videos. Obviously all the views will help us out. We're looking to kind of get followers if we can here and there, and get people involved in the projects and the cars that we've got. So I hope you enjoy part 3. We'll get into it, and this is what we've been doing with the E36. Carpets are fully dry now, which I'm over the moon with. It's going to look so cool in here. Everything's nice and tidy in it, so we're pretty pleased. But yeah, carpets are coming class, and they're all dry now, so any stains, obviously once they were dry you would see them, so I'm pretty happy with those. We've had a full day out today. Sorted the black and plates out so they look a little bit nicer on the front there as well. Starting to get there now. It should start and look nice very soon. Obviously painting the calipers up as well. Just hanging up about dry in there. But yeah, I think generally we've had a pretty decent day today. So I've been working a few things out and obviously thinking about what we're going to do, what bits we're going to fit, what wheels I'm going to get. Wheels for me are a biggie. Like, these have got to have killer wheels on. I'm not one of these Saint Queens or a Stancy boy or out like that. I just want the car to look nice. I actually do want this to be a car where I can just kind of chill in and take my missus and the bairn out in. I'm fancying some nice dish wheels. The car ride height to be sitting quite low, but not unusual. Sorry, unusable. So yeah, I don't know what to go for. So this is our list at the minute. So this is what I've wrote down. So we've got obviously we've ordered a set of gas bonnet struts, 20 quid, disc and pads 152, as you know. New bonnet and boot badges, which is 26 quid, which I thought was decent. New mat set with M Performance logo, 27 quid. The Sparky cost us 70 quid. New window motor second hand of E36 Kings on Facebook, mint little group. Some good kids on there to help us out with a lot of bits. So that came off there. Coilovers, big thing. Now these come on Bilsteins standard, but looking at the Bilsteins, I'm not liking the look of them, because the shockers look alright, but I've got red springs on the front and black springs on the back, so they don't match anywhere. Car sits lopsided. I'm thinking coilovers, depending on what I decide to get, will give us some ride quality. So coilovers I'm thinking about. People might frown upon this, but there's a company called Stance Plus, and I've had a couple of BMs on them. They're not a fortune, they're a budget coilover, but they actually ride really well, which is all I want. In terms of handling, they handle quite well as well. I've also been looking at Yellow Speed, which is a popular option. Yellow Speed's quite a cool coilover. They work quite well. And I've also been looking at some new Bilsteins as well, but I'm not going to be tight with the car. I just want it to be right. So I'm going to speak to a couple of people on the forums and see who's outside, sorry. Basically see who is running what. If these Stance Plus coilovers are up to the job, I'll maybe just go for the Stance Pluses and give them a well. But yeah, I'm a little bit undecided. Again, if people, I know you've got E36s, tell us what suspension you're running. I am curious, and I am looking at the minute, so we'll come back to that. Just going to crack on with the plugs today. One of the jobs that I can do myself. Now normally, majority of people who do know me on the YouTube channel will know that I am registered mechanically disabled. It's an actual thing. I can only do very, very small things. I can change distant pads, bits of plugs. That's as far as I go. Then obviously Dave, my right hand man, gets involved and does the rest because I'm useless. So taking the plugs is easy to do. Now obviously with regards to the coil packs, they have two 10mm bolts either side. You lift this cover off, there's two 10mm bolts on the top, pop that off, then you've got your coil packs, two 10mm bolts, a little clip for the plugs go at the back of the coil packs, and then they lift out. Now, in terms of the car, obviously it was stood for, I think it was 2 years, so I'm just going to have a look and see what the plugs were like. Has this guy changed them? Have they been in there forever? I don't know. But what I can tell you is the coil packs that we've actually taken out of this are genuine BMW coil packs, and they're in nice condition as well. So I think maintenance-wise, maybe it has had a little bit at some point not too long ago because they're not ancient. Obviously I am going into cost with this build as well because a lot of people will be wanting to buy these cars and kind of revamp them and make them look a little bit better and make them run a little bit nicer like I am. So the spark plugs, believe it or not, obviously the 6 spark plugs, 6-cylinder engine, so the spark plugs were literally 16 quid, which is, I thought was ridiculously cheap. Bonnet struts, the gas bonnet struts were tired, they weren't holding the bonnet, weren't holding its own weight. They were 16 quid, so in terms of the little bits that we bought, even down to replacement calipers in the last clip that I showed you, so cheap to make the cars right again. So it can be a budget build for somebody. You don't need to break the bank to put these cars back on the road and get them right. So let's have a look at the first plug anyway, our second plug, sorry. Crack that off. Obviously the plugs that aren't brand new, but they're not ancient at the same time either. Obviously the fuel, because the car's just been getting started the spot and hasn't really gone far. Not hideous, but not new, so them's definitely worth changing for 16 quid. I think you're daft not able to get the car running right. So we'll crack on with the plugs. That'll end this clip and then we'll show you what she runs like when the new plugs are in. Just popping it all back together now. Some things to consider. As I said, the coil packs come up before. There wasn't a very good view of it, but these clips here just literally push up and these pop out. Obviously vice versa when you put them back in. 2 bolts, one at the top, one at the bottom. Also one thing to be aware of if you're servicing your 328i, which obviously I just realised when I took the first coil pack off, is obviously the earth. There is an earth strap on the first coil pack here and the last one at the top as well, so just make sure you're getting those earths back on when you put them back in. But this is a kind of a little look at the plugs that we've got. So as you can see, they are quite tired. Obviously once it starts to go rusty, they have been in quite a while. They are quite fuely, so it was a good shout changing them for what they cost. It'll definitely get us running a little bit smoother anyway. One thing I was impressed with the car originally was obviously how well it ran with regards to it not kind of having any love and being stood, but it was a little bit lumpy low down. So obviously the new plugs are in. Just going to give her a flick over and see what she starts like. Turn them wipers off it. I'm pretty happy with that. I think that's about as smooth as you're going to get a 328i to run. It's absolutely silent. Obviously we've got a bit of a squeaky pulley, which is at the front I think. But yeah, she runs very, very nicely. So far, so good. So that concludes part 3. As you can see, we are starting to get through stuff as well. So we're pretty happy at the minute. Hopefully, fingers crossed, if this guy's a good guy, which I'm hoping he will be and he's true to his word, we might have a set of nice splits in the next video, all going well. This guy also mentions to me he's got a nice set of coilovers there as well. He doesn't actually seem to know much about what he's got, to be totally honest with you. He just tells me the coilovers are blue. Now, blue coilovers to me, knowing what I know, says one or two things. It can say JOMs, which are absolutely hideous and I would run a mile, but blue coilovers can also be APs as well. Now, if it's a set of APs, then we're in the money. These coilovers are apparently only 6 months old, and he literally wants 60 quid for them, which I think is absolutely ludicrous. £60 for a set of coilovers, but it's worth going down and have a look and see what he's got. So yes, fingers crossed, next clip, splits, coilovers. Let's see how it goes.